What is up, guys? How you doing? Happy Friday and welcome to Editing with Frankie, where I basically edit the photos from a photo shoot that I recently did, or if I shot a concert the night before. This is where I do that, and I do this so I can share how I do what I do, and also because I just like photo editing and it's fun, and maybe you'll like it too. But we got a big Friday. We got Les Claypool playing at the Palace Theater. We have Enter the Haggis playing tonight at Cohoes Music Hall. So if you want to go support Guthrie Bell Productions or just go listen to some kick-ass ska Irish music, that's where you go. But last night we had Laura Lee Band in town. She's been on a tear, and her new band formation, which I hope is permanent, yeah, she kicks ass. And same with Eris. So cool to see Eris out playing, rocking last night. After a long 32-hour work day, well, out of 2 days, going right into shooting this. So much fun. First concert I got to shoot since before Wild in the Trees, just like out going and shooting a concert. Something I really miss and something I hope I get to do a little more. But time always gets the best of you, but you just got to make the time, right? So, yeah, I'm just going to get going here and just give me 1 second just to figure out one other thing here and we'll get going. But thank you for tuning in. If anybody has any questions about anything that I'm doing editing wise, please let me know. I love sharing what I do. I am not somebody who is afraid to share their secrets when it comes to how you get the photo done. So ask away. And we also had, and I had to look this up, my apologies, we had Claire Maloney and The Great Adventure. They were headlining last night, which the bassist of the band is from Deadgrass, and I knew I photographed her before, but didn't know where. So now that I know that, we'll get going here. So last night, my camera of choice was the Canon R5. When I'm shooting a club, I try not to bring a lot of camera gear, but tonight at the Palace will be a different story, as I will need the Holy Trinity of lenses, which is 7200, 16 to 35, and the 24 to 70, which seems to be the lens I use the least when I'm shooting in a theater. But here we go. This is a photo I have of Eris, and I can see what I can do here to minimize my screen. You don't need to see my face. Boom. Okay, so here we go. So first photo right here, shot on the 50mm f1.2 Canon. Always a tricky lens to shoot because it is a lens that shoots at 1.2. While you can get a deep, shallow depth of field, it is also easy to get your photos out of focus. But in a situation where these band members are playing close to a wall, I do want to do my best to try to get some bokeh while I'm shooting. So first thing I do, especially in a situation like this, because I'm shooting on a higher res camera, is I'm going to zoom in on Eris's face. Sorry, Eris, but I can tell you right there, that's not in focus. So I'm deleting that. Here we go, another photo. This is me just, I don't know if you would say warming up is the right word, but this is me just trying to figure out my camera and what I can do for the night. So it looks like my white balance is a little off, so I'm gonna edit that a little bit, put a little clarity, and then his face is a little harsh, so I'm going to bring down the texture just a little bit, bring down the whites, maybe bring up the shadows just a hair. But that's not a photo I'm keeping, so I'm going to delete that. Eris was on a tear last night, and that new Speedway Boogie last song for Laura Lee was just powerful. One of the best performances I've seen her play thus far, and maybe that's just because I haven't been out to enough shows. So here's another photo that I'm going to use, and this is actually a framing I don't mind, because when sharing on Instagram, not that that matters, it is 4x5, so I have all this extra space up here that I don't have to worry about, and while the frame looks a little off, it's really not too bad. And I actually like that red a little bit in the background. I thought, for the hollow, the lighting wasn't too bad. So cheers to Live Sound, who is upstairs running sound, and I'm guessing running lights. They dual wield, just like many people have to do in the industry. So we're gonna continue on here. This is just a shot of Laura playing, getting down with Eris, and it's just really finding the right facial expression. So, okay, maybe that, but I don't think so. This is something I can deal with. But what I'm going to do is turn this photo black and white. I think it's just going to look a little better, personally, to me. If we go back and check out what it looked like before, it just, I mean, the way that, I don't know, the way that this photo is color balancing, it's just not something I'm down for, so that's why, why not set it to black and white? Even though, yeah, it's great to have a color photo, it's also great to have options too. So I'm going to bring down the texture just to soften the face a little bit. I just feel like that's really important. Good morning, Kathy. Happy Friday, and I hope you and Ed have a rockin' day. Happy belated birthday. Yeah, don't forget to drink your morning coffee. I'm definitely having a little bit of a hard time this morning. Just because Wednesday and Thursday I was out in Ithaca for my full-time job doing a shoot, and we had a 17-hour workday on Wednesday, and then we had an 11.5-hour workday on Thursday. Got back home around 7 o'clock, and then, yeah, just I cranked some Metallica, No Remorse, Kill 'Em all the good stuff, and yeah, just great to see a lot of friends last night. Happy birthday, Maria Kane. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Congo Steve in the house. Great to see you last night as well. So much fun seeing your boy Eris up on the stage rocking it. So going on. So I've already looked at these photos. These are something that I'm not really about. So let's just continue on. Again, when I'm shooting a series of photos, especially in a burst, I'm just trying to find the best facial expression. Sometimes I'll even save a couple photos of a series just to have options, because when you're looking at your photos today, it may be different when you look at the photos the next time you review them. So that's just something to always keep in mind. But yeah, again, don't forget to drink your coffee. Drink it black. Cream and sugar ain't good for you. But you know what are? Reubens. So don't forget to have a Reuben today too. It's Friday. It's cheat day. Who says that you can't have something greasy? And if you're going to get a Reuben in the capital region so far, the best one to me is the Hill Street Cafe Reuben. It's a delicious Reuben, classic. Can't go wrong. I'll be going, hopefully, to my journey to the Mecca, which is Cat's Deli in New York City on Monday for another shoot. We'll be down the city for a couple days. Looking forward to that. But we can talk about that at another time. So this, another one, I don't know. I'm not really liking this color balance to me. Again, it's something you just got to play with. But I'm just going to see what it would look like black and white. Not even worth it. I'm just going to keep it the way it is and move on. So something I also like to make sure I do is I clear out all my photos that I don't like. So when I have all my photos done, they're all edited in the strip right here in the bottom. And yeah, it's just a way for me to keep myself organized. And something also that's a lot of fun with photography is playing with LUTs. And so maybe I'll go back to this photo, definitely not that photo, but this photo, and I'll see what we got here in our presets. And it's fun to play with these because it can also give you a basis on what you want your photo to look like, and maybe have you take your mind and think outside of the box for a second, especially if you're not happy with the way the photo's coming out like that. I like the matte. That looks really cool. So I'm just going to continue on, see what else I have over here, which these are all just the normal Adobe ones. I haven't spent any money on my own on LUTs, nor would I make any LUTs. But I do like using these as just a way to inspire how I'm editing my photos. So this obviously is blown out. So what I'm going to do is bring down the whites, bring down the highlights, bring up the vibrance a little bit, but her face has a little magenta in it. But the problem is where we have magenta and green, which do not those colors do not really work the best together. But I am going to bring it down more to the green side, and I actually like that. So I'm going to move on here. continue moving on. There's a couple double exposures later in this series of photos I'm really looking forward to getting. I might even skip forward to that just for the sake of time. Got a real estate shoot today at 11 with one of the best real estate agents in the capital land, Susan Lansley. And then, yeah, Les Claypool tonight. Hope to see a bunch of people out. Les Claypool, looking forward to shooting at the Palace. I can't even remember the last time I shot at the Palace. It's been forever. Summer kind of whooped my ass along with my team, so it's cool to be back on the pony. And speaking of ponies, we got the one and only Shanda Dewey. Shanda Dewey is now a full member of the Laura Leigh Band. At least that's what it seems like. So this is another situation where shooting 51.2. 51.2, while it's my favorite focal length, with that aperture, it's amazing in low light. You know, where you could get a soft photo sometimes. The plus is if you're shooting in a dark club and you're shooting at a 1.2, shooting at a 1.4, you're not going to have to crank that ISO, which is super important. Less grain in your photos. But that being said, also, if you do want to get that grain out of your photos, I can show you in a little bit how to go about that with a new tool, well, relatively new, that was added to Adobe Lightroom that I just think kicks major ass. So again, if anybody has any questions about my process, what gear I use, any of that jazz, just feel free to ask right here. So again, going through these LUTs here, I'm not really happy with any of them. I'm going to try black and white and maybe save the photo by raising the exposure and contrast. So we got a little more personality to this photo. I do like to high key my photos, which is just, you know, a little more of a brighter photo than what you'd usually expect. Clarity is always a fun tool, but this is something you really got to be careful with using because it just, you know, it could look unnatural or it could look too edited, and that's also a buzzkill as well. So we're gonna move on from that photo, and then usually what I do is I'll go over my photos one more time before I'm done with the process, and just to make sure they are the edits I'm happy with. But I can always go back and fix a photo if I'd like to. So this is where I'm going to play with the color balance a little bit, see if I can just kind of, I don't know, make something look different here. The good thing is the lighting at the hollow, you know, the colors didn't really clash, so that was really cool. Everybody was nice and lit, and sometimes it's cool to have that dark, you know, vibe. And I'm no lighting guy, I'm no musician by any means, but I definitely appreciate even lighting, especially when I'm doing video. Just, you know, while it's great to live in the moment, I do like to capture this stuff so that it can live on forever. So that's just my pet peeve. You know, we all got our pet peeves. Yeah, going back to this photo, I'm happy with it. So we're gonna move on. See what else we got here. Some more Laura Leigh. Gonna delete it. Not happy with the facial expression again. I'm not gonna try to save a photo. If it's something that just does not work, I'm not gonna force it. It's my problem that I didn't get the photo in the first place. So, all right, cool little bassist here. I wish I knew his name. This band was sounding tight. Eris was crushing it. I was blown away, and it's so cool to see Eris playing in different formations. Hallelujah Hat Trick, Laura Leigh Band, and it just, you know, I feel like playing different styles is so important. I mean, his finger picking skills is amazing, and I hope that comes into Hilltop, and maybe I just got to go to more Hilltop shows. Maybe he's already doing it. So, but here we go. This is just like whatever, a 4x5 that could work for Instagram. So again, I'm gonna check through the laws, just kind of see, okay, not just completely be happy with the photo, but see how else I can think. I actually like that. So I'm going to go with this LUT right here, which is Cool Light, which is available on Lightroom. It is not something you have to purchase. It comes with your subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. So we're going to move on here. Also shot some reels. Trying to get more into doing vertical video, which is something that's very hard for me to conceptualize in that frame of space, but it is better to learn and then be stubborn, as I have been in the past. especially with drones. I remember when drones first came out, I thought they were the dumbest things in the world. I thought, why would I ever use one? And now I'm obsessed with shooting drones, and so that's where I was like, you know what? Better not fight the trend, and it's always great to learn and stay up to date. What's up, Eris? How you doing, man? So this is a photo where you got this mic stand here, and this is something that you can easily remove in the process. You could do it right here in Adobe Lightroom, but for me, especially with how advanced Photoshop is, this is something where after I'm done editing and exporting these photos, I am then going to put them in Photoshop and see what I can do to tweak them. Now, especially we got that generative fill AI, which is really cool. It can easily remove things from your photos without making it look wonky. So, yeah, again, drink your coffee, stay hydrated. It's going to be a long day. We got Les Claypool in town. And if anybody in the chat can remind me, I'm pretty sure Sean Lennon's in the band too. I could be wrong, but they are doing Pink Floyd Animals in its entirety, if I remember correctly. But I tend to get details wrong, so let me know in the chat. This is a situation where, okay, I have something similar of a photo where I'm not sure if I'm happy with, not happy, but I don't know which my favorite is, so I'm just going to keep them both. I'm going to copy and paste my color corrections to the photo because maybe it's easier to get this mic stand out in post. I don't know. And when I say post, in Adobe Lightroom. So this is where I'm going to go through, check out my LUTs again. I've really liked that. That looks freaking sick. But I don't know. That red is also really nice and vibrant, and it's natural. And again, if you got any questions about how I'm doing what I'm doing, feel free to ask away. I actually like that red lift matte. Fuck it. I think that's what I'm going to use. Now I got options. Awesome. We're going to continue through here. Continuing the editing process. Here's another one where that mic stand sucks. But what are you going to do? It's a small stage. And thank God we got multiple stages that kick ass here in the capital region. And big congrats to Shane Spillinger and Liam for taking the Parish Public House and now turning to Nanola South. And shout out to the owners of Parish Public House for having an incredible venue for many years, and I cannot wait to see what Shane does. Shane's a smart guy when it comes to this stuff. Nanola is a great establishment right in Malta, New York. Great for concerts, tons of different genres of music, and great Cajun food. Who doesn't like Cajun food, So this is where, okay, I got a little grain here. Not the worst. And what is my information here? So I'm shooting an ISO 2000 on a 45 megapixel camera. You're going to expect some grain. Bring the grain, not the pain. So continuing through, just processing these photos. Here's another one. Not happy with the facial expression. But this is where, okay, you know what? Maybe that doesn't matter because this is actually a series of photos that came into. This is a double exposure, something I like doing just to have some fun with photography. And it doesn't always work out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But, trying's better than not. So as I would like to think. So this is where, okay, that Telecaster, first off, looks like an awesome guitar. And number two, I mean, just the saturation in it naturally through this LUT. I love it. It looks great, but I think it's a little too saturated, so we'll see here. I might not even save this one just because the double exposure came out doesn't mean it's something I'm happy with. So we'll come back to that. And, I'm trying to also get better at shooting at only a couple focal lengths. I think one of my things is I love to switch lenses as much as I possibly can. Just because I do like having the options, but I also think that there's something about sticking with one lens and trying to get the most you can out of it because, that's just going to improve your quality because you're spending more time with one lens. This is something I'm actually really happy with. I'm going to bring down that magenta just a hair, and I think I could probably, while there's no clarity, this is just a super sharp picture taken on this the Canon 24 to 70 f2.28 version 2. Shout out to Dave DiCrescente for selling me that lens. I've wanted to shoot that focal length forever. Never had it. Never could afford the lens. It's a super expensive lens. I believe brand new. It's $17.99, and I got it for $1,000 thanks to Dave. And it's cool to use it in a club setting just because it's a perfect focal length. So if I only had a couple lenses and I couldn't bring 70 to 200 like last night, I'm bringing my 16 to 35 for the wide. I'm bringing the 24-70 just for the versatility, and then also because I'm not bringing that 70 to 200, I bring in the 50 millimeter 1.2 and the 85 millimeter f 1.8, both EF lenses. But if I'm shooting a theater, I'm definitely not bringing either primes unless I know I'm going to have close pit access, because when you have 3 songs in the pit, you have to, really make sure you're spending your time wisely. And I don't believe that, you could be risky, but like if I'd be shooting a prime in the pit and I had 3 songs, it would be like a 135 millimeter f2 or 2.8 that Canon and Nikon both have. Sony, I'm not sure. But regardless, whatever camera system you have or own, it does, whatever is best for you. I don't believe that one camera is better than the other. Maybe spec-wise at different levels for, beginner camera versus a camera that's, more for professionals or for working photographers. I think that, you got to make best with what you have, and if you know what you're doing, you can do what you're doing on any type of camera. So coming through here. Oh, there we go. We got some action. Didn't even have my camera out for the new Speedway Boogie that they rocked out just because I was banging my head the whole time. And but Eris was on a tear. Goddamn. So just bringing the texture down just to soften the photo, it makes it look more natural to me again. Happy with that the way it is. I'm gonna let it be, just like the Beatles song. So this is another thing where I'm gonna return and see what the series of photos look like before I start editing the other one. So this, I probably could bring down those highlights just a hair. So that's what I'm gonna do. Bring down the whites, boom, and I'm gonna Shift Command C on Mac or Shift Control C on PC and paste that same edit right onto the photo that I'm going to next. And I'm fine with the framing. That's cool. I don't always like to crop my photos, but if I do, it's because I'm trying to highlight something important to the photo itself. But in this situation, I think Dutch angle in it is cool. Everybody has their own preference as a photographer. That's just my personal thing. I like taking chances whenever I can. So this is 51.2 wide open. Happy with the series of photos as well. And again, facial expressions. That's such a big thing, especially because you're taking a photo of somebody and you are, you got to make them look good. And just because a photo is tack sharp doesn't mean anything if the portrait, the subject is not, I'm not going to say pleasing, but if it's not, again, highlighting them in the best way, especially you're a concert photographer, that's what you should be aiming for. Because if you want to get hired one day or you want to continue to get hired, and that's just something that you got to do. Always make your clients, your friends look good, especially if you have the ability to. We got a lot of different editing stuff here that you can do in Lightroom. What I just did for transform was I leveled the photo. For some reason, I can't comprehend how to make a photo straight, so having that assist tool is really nice to have. So this is another situation where I'm like, okay, maybe I'll add a LUT. But if it does, like some of these LUTs, they just bring up the shadows and bring down the highlights so much that it just looks like shit. So this cool light also looks great. So now I'm going to go and then add some color back and just check it out. Don't like it, so let's see what I can do here. Don't like that either. So I might just keep this the way it is and then bring down the whites in her face, bring down the texture just a hair. And right there, f1.2, sharp as, tack sharp. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Continuing through here, if you haven't had the ability to and you're watching on Facebook, the best way to help Mirth Films is to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mirth Films. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by November. We're getting close, and with your help, it would be very gracious for you to subscribe. And also because we got a lot of things coming up and a lot of backlog of shows, from Rye Bread to what other festivals? 80K Music Fest, Wild in the Trees, Eastbound Throwdown. We have so many shows coming out on our YouTube channel, and we also have tons of camera reviews coming out on our YouTube channel, and of course the podcast. So I'm going to move on here and shut up. Also take a sip of my coffee. Not trying to rush through this crap. Pinky's up always. So continuing through here. Yep, just not a straight photo. I mean, and and this is something also I'd like to bring up, is just shooting photos. The same, I've shot the Hollow now probably like, I don't know, 50, 60 times throughout my photography career. You're going to get some of the same shots that you get at different concerts, which is cool. I think it's really important to get the fundamental shots, like the band photo. But like, I also think that you should try to make things different for yourself, because it's going to not only make it more fun for you, you're going to look back at your portfolio and be like, okay, wow, I see a progression of things throughout, your photography career, how you improved, all that jazz. So that's just my 2 cents. What do I know? Yeah, how's everybody doing today? If you have any concert recommendations for any of the Mirthlings watching, definitely put it in the comments. We want to promote live and local music here in the Capital Region and beyond, of course, because there's music everywhere, all the time. Every single night of the week in the Capital Region, you can see live music, from Monday nights with Family Tree to Thursday nights with Super Dark Thursday and No Fun, and everything in between. I mean, God knows we got like 6 Greg Bell concerts coming up. It's going to be a busy, busy week. This upcoming week, Greg is not slowed down one bit, 31 years into his career. It was great to see Greg and Marilyn last night. Shout out to Greg and Marilyn Bell, the greatest couple in the Capital Region. So this is a little double exposure that I did. Again, just as, I don't know, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, who knows. Shout out, so we got Hilltop in Hanover, New Hampshire. These guys have been breaking out of the Capital Region, and that is what it's all about. It's great to play to your local hometown crowd, but these guys are doing the work. They put all their energy into the band, and when they're not working and playing in Hilltop, they're playing for other bands, they're running sound, they're doing everything. So they're always involved with music in somehow, some way. And I mean, guys, you guys are the future, and it's a pleasure to know you. And I can't wait to see you guys play MSG one day. So I'll shut my mouth here and get back to editing this photo and pay attention to what I'm doing. So this is where, okay, the double exposure with the LUTs actually look kind of cool. There's something about this cool light LUT that I really like. So, but also that red matte is also really nice. But I think I'm gonna go with the cool matte and then straighten the photo out again with the transform tool. Gonna hit level, see what happens. All right. Move on. And this is where, okay, going and trying something different. I really admire Renee Humer, if that's how you're pronouncing your last name. Oops, my camera went out here. So I really admire Renee Humer. I mean, Dave DeCrescente, he takes some big shout out to Dave, one of the best photographers here in the Capital Region. I don't know. I was always nervous to try double exposures, and never could understand how certain photographers could do what they do, and and really was just playing with it. And the first time I ever did a double exposure that I was really happy about was at the Hollow for the Magic Beans last year. Up until that point, I was really just doing double exposures, using the musicians as the subject to do a double exposure of. But I mean, when you got lights like this at the Hollow, that's pretty damn cool. So this photo is really dark, but I'm going to show you right now how to brighten these photos without really ruining the photo from the grain. So, okay, so you can see right here, obvious grain, right? I mean, this is extreme. And you would never crank the shadow that much in most situations. So I'm going to bring it down about half because I want to lift those shadows and still maintain some brightness in the corners. So, okay, with Adobe's new denoise button, you can clear all of this out. I have it set to 90. I'm going to hit enhance, and I'm going to let Adobe do its thing. So Adobe's going to do its thing, and we're going to see in just a couple seconds what happens to that grain. And I'm just going to leave this expanded just so you can see. We're about halfway done for this process, and it does take some time to process the grain, but I mean, just having that feature in 2023, Jesus Christ, is amazing. So where's that grain now? Gone. Look back at the photo. Looks great. Definitely a great tool. And don't be afraid to try different things in Adobe, because if you don't try and you don't know, you might be taking more time than you actually need. I apologize. Again, my camera keeps going out for some reason. I'm using a different camera setup for this, since we have all our camera gear set up for the Kind of Live, Kind of Livin podcast, which if you have any recommendations for the Kind of Live, Kind of Livin podcast and who do you like to see, please let us know in the comment section down below. Gonna see how our YouTube friends are doing. Not so good. So we're gonna go, and this is somewhere where I'm not gonna add any clarity. I'm really happy with the way this photo came out, and so I'm gonna first brighten the exposure as I did, and now I'm gonna play with the contrast, and then I'm gonna play with the temperature and make it a little cooler. Go with that cool light vibe that we've had going this whole photo strip, and then maybe some dehazed. But then it kind of diminishes some of these bokeh lights. But these lights are literally just the lights that were up here, and I just shot them defocused first, and then I shot the second photo as a double exposure, and the one overlays over the other photo, and the order really matters. So I always shoot the lights first and then the photo second. At least the subject second. And I'm sure there's other ways you can go about this. This is the way I go about it. Again, continuing through here, I was just trying to get some people shots. Actually looks quite horrible, so we're going to move on there. Here's another one where I'm playing with these bokeh lights. So this is the Claire Mahoney band, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So this is where I'm trying to get a triple exposure. So I'm trying to get lights in the corners and get the subject. So let's see what happens. Boom. That looks really cool, but I'm pretty sure I shot more. There we go. This is a little out of focus. What are you gonna do? It just happens. This one's a little more in focus. This one I might just savor the photo just so I can kind of maybe not even post it, but look back on my editing process. So I actually like that with the black and white. But what I'm going to do is, because I know I'm probably going to be like, ah, shit, I wish I didn't make that photo black and white, I'm going to create a virtual copy. So I'm going to create a virtual copy, and it's just basically creating a second image. And then I'm going to bring back that vibrance and see what I can do here. And maybe just leave it at a basis where, okay, hey, I have something to play with when I want to really come back. But, ooh, that vintage instant looks beautiful. So I'm going to bring that temperature down just a little bit because it's a little too yellow for my liking. But everybody, again, has their own preferences. So continuing through here. Didn't really shoot a lot of photos of Claire at this point. I was like, oh, my God, I got to go to bed. Been working 32 hours in 2 days. And just a lot of time on the road, so it was just nice to even just be able to go to a concert. That was just a blessing. So I don't even know if any of these photos came out good, and if they didn't, I apologize. Um, but yeah, photography is all about having fun. And sometimes while you want to go and savor the moment, get that shot, there's nothing wrong with being a fan. And being a fan first is what it's all about. And, it'll make you appreciate things a little more too. This summer I was able to step back a little bit and just enjoy music for once and not think about, damn, am I going to get all the shots I want, or I got friends at the concert but I want to shoot photos, and like I'm going back and forth. Like I can really only do one thing at a time. So this summer was about hanging out with my friends and having a good time and trying to get through Wild in the Trees, and you know just trying to reset the batteries. We got some good things going for Mirth Films behind the scenes. I'm really, really happy with my team. Big shout out to Amy Clemmy, Brett Porter, Doug Quimby, our intern Nick B, and everybody else who's lended a hand in this journey. It's been a fun one at that. So this is where I'm like, you know what? These photos are garbage. Not even a fan. Okay, so I'm just gonna fucking delete them. Excuse my French. So here we go. We're just gonna go back, see what we shot, see what we got from an unplanned concert that I did not think I was gonna go to due to reasons. So here we go. Just Eris, Laura, more Laura, Shanna Dewey. Shot at f1.2 ISO 2000. Happy with this. I might bring those whites down a little bit. Like, this is where you got to be really careful, because if you bring those highlights down too much, it's going to look unnatural. And I'm just going to show you quick. You can just see it in the facial features. It just looks very, very, I don't even know how to describe it. Just don't do it. So maybe this is where I just bring down the exposure a little bit. And then that texture, add that. Even though I want this tack sharp, maybe having a little softness on that face is important. Especially when you're editing a photo, you're doing things to it, and you want to, again, just make your subject look great. So I'm happy with this. Maybe I'll add a little vibrance, just because that bass guitar was pretty vibrant as it was. I'm bringing that in Photoshop after this editing with Frankie episode. This as well. I think this is the winner right here. Winner, chicken dinner out of the two. And if you don't want to have a chicken dinner, have a Reuben dinner. But in all seriousness, we're moving on. We got some guitar, Eris. This, not even a fan. I don't even know if I'm going to keep it. I might just, I'll let Laura determine, see if she likes it. But, yeah. Let's see what we can do here. I think it's because I added a lot, right? Yeah, and if you want to get out of the LUT, just Adobe Color. Boom. Okay. Then we also have more Eris action. Laura. We got your standard black and white, your scene setter, double exposure, little Dutch angle, double exposure with the lights that hang from the hollow, and another one of Claire Mahoney Band as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching one of these episodes of Editing with Frankie. I'm going to be doing this a lot more, because I'm going to be going and shooting concerts, photography in general, a lot more for fun. And I figure if I'm going to be editing these photos, I might as well edit them with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you guys out at the show. If you're at Les Claypool, come say hello. I'll give you a sticker. If not, just enjoy the show and enjoy your weekend and have a great day. Adios.